Can you see me? Let me know if I'm live. Can you see me? Let me know if I'm live. Can you see me? Let me know if I'm live. Can you see me? Let me know if I'm live. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. Great. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've turned off. They've made a change to the Zoom software and the Google and the YouTube. That's good. It's just that it's changed since the last time I did the live stream. Put my speakers down. I think it's fine. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's have a look here. All right. Oh, good, good. So it does feel a little bit awkward without Billy around, I have to say. And but Happy New Year, everyone. Let's see who's here. We've got Ben Gray. Hi, Ben, Brody, Alden. And if you're listening to this recorded, I usually start 10 minutes before to greet everyone. So if you don't want to listen to that, go to the 10-minute mark. Olivier Leroy is here from Paris. Hi, Olivier. Not Joe King. Happy New Year. Hashim Khan, Joseph Carter, Neo's Han Dynasty, Brody Alden, Evola Sunglasses, Pablo Pina, Cozy Fantuti, quite a few of you here right now. I think the echo is gone now. Cheryl Fettig, Lisa Porter. Yeah, Billy Bullion. It does feel strange without him here, but that's the way it is. So most of you know already that we've put a deposit down. So we've got another puppy. He's still with his family. The breeder is a good breeder, and we're gonna get him probably sometime in February. Roger, Happy New Year from Ottawa. Tim Goodson from Colorado. Sean Brown. Pino Kunchner from Munich, Bavaria. Jillian B. Happy New Year. Graham Hobbs is in Antarctica. Black Silver Staff, Nasser CF. Latest on BRICS. There isn't that much out right now on BRICS, but I've been covering that. I think they're going to continue, of course, to design their new system. They're going to try to move further and further away from the dollar. I mean, it doesn't mean they won't use the dollar, but they want to be less and less dependent of it. Golden Bank is here. Who else is here? Black Silver Staff. What do you think of Chris Dwayne? I used to listen to him many years ago, but haven't listened to him recently. He's a silver stacker. So not a bad strategy, I would say. So the topic today is the decade of commodities and hard assets is starting to fall into place. And I'm gonna share a little bit of data I compiled over the weekend to show you the performances for 2022 for all different assets, for currencies, for gold. And we'll look at the 3-year performance, which is quite interesting as well. Francisco Reyes from Miami, Lars Wilson from Denmark. $256 people watching. Let's have a look here. Better. Jam Silver, Happy New Year to you, Mario, and all who's watching. Linda Compton from Spokane, Washington. Carlos Garcia, thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. Where's the number? The number 2 puppy, you mean? Well, he's coming home in February. He's I think he's turned 1 month today. He's too young to come. He's still with his sisters and his mom. So there you go. Matt Davidson from Toronto. We got another 3 minutes before we start looking at these numbers for last year. Question everything. I do not consider Bitcoin a hard asset. A hard asset is like silver, which you can touch, like this quarter, silver quarter, constitutional silver. I can't touch Bitcoin, so it's not a hard asset. LG from Orlando, Florida. Platinum. Yeah, platinum looks like it's starting to break out. And I think gold and silver are close to breaking out too. I mean, I've only been following the technical picture for platinum. I think platinum will do well in the years to come, as will most other commodities. But I prefer to, I stick to gold and silver, but it doesn't mean that we can't look at platinum. Tim Goodson, Reggie Middleton's invention. I'm not sure. Veritasium, yeah, I've heard of that many years ago. I don't know what's going on there with Veritasium. There are some people who think it's like the best thing since sliced bread, but I'm not too sure. Kenny Spunto, the new dog's name is Rudolph. So we're going to call him probably, you know, Rudolph with an F, not PH, the German spelling. And we're probably going to call him Rudy as well. So there you go. Because that's his pedigree name. He's got a first name, which is a really strange name, and then Rudolph. So we decided to take Rudolph. Anthony Shepard, how do you think the United States and Western Europe, specifically the G7, will respond to the threat to their hegemony by the BRICS and OPEC? They're already responding, Anthony. This is what we're seeing in 2022. The what's happening in the Ukraine with Russia, that's because of this. They're trying to basically do a regime change in Russia in order to scupper this move away from the dollar. I think it's not gonna start. It's already started. So there you go. Joker Alpha, happy New Year to you as well. Ballet Dance Arabia, nice to see you. Code. Someone's already given Rudolph a nickname. He's the Silver Ranger, Rudolph the Silver Ranger. So, all right, let's share some of the data with you guys. I'm going to open something here. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. I did this over the weekend because right now the markets are closed. The end of 2022 is gone, and we've got the data. So as we can see here, hopefully this is this is big enough for you guys to see. So as you can see, the Dow finished down almost 9% year to date, S&P almost 20%, and the NASDAQ fell 33%. Here, the commodities year to date, the only commodity that fell was copper, palladium. Copper, palladium, cotton, but most of them were up on the year, as you can see. There's a few that fell, and then here I've got bonds, because usually when stocks go down, bonds go up. But as you can see, the 30-year bond dropped 22% year to date. The 2-year dropped 6.3, the 5-year 11, 10-year 13.9. The German 10-year fell 22.5%. The bubble, which is the 5-year, fell 13%. The Schatz, which is the 2-year, fell almost 6%. The gilt, the 10-year gilt, fell 20%. So you can see it was a really bad year for bonds. And if we look at the 3-year here, the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are up pretty much the same over the last 3 years. Commodities, on the other hand, they're all up except for palladium and lumber in the last 3 years. So that's why I think the move away from the stock market to commodities is happening. And I think it's been happening for the last 3 years slowly, and it's going to show up even more next year. I would say the same thing for bonds, down the last 3 years. So you want to know probably about gold. I've done something for gold, of course, as well. So we've got some different data here. Over here, it says gold was up 0.5% year to date. And I think it was pretty much that. There are different settlements for gold, but I'll take this one here. Silver actually had a pretty good finished up 4% on the year. And for the last 3 years, gold is up almost 20% basically here, 20%. Silver is up 35%. So silver has outperformed, gold and silver have outperformed, as we can see here, all these three, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ over the last 3 years. So let's go see your comments now. Carlos Garcia, have I seen Rafi Fabres talk about the 50-year cyclone jubilee? Yes, I have. He's spoken about that before. Not sure. I think that's maybe what we're seeing. 2022 is a really bad year. Who knows? And it was, I think, 51 years, the 51st year after Nixon defaulted and closed the gold window. Question everything. You can't touch anything digital, but Bitcoin is the first and only scarce digital asset. It's like holding gold without existence of paper gold. I'm not sure. Question everything, because I actually did look at the cryptos here. Let's go to the cryptos, how they've done. Of course, they haven't done well in the last year, but you'd be surprised about their 3-year performance. Am I saying I'm going to invest in crypto? No, because I think they're unproven. They don't have a long enough track record. And I prefer hard assets, as I said, going forward. And I have been talking about this for the last 2-3 years. But as you can see, Bitcoin was down 64% in dollars. It was down 62% in euros. And Ethereum was down 67%. But if you look at the 3-year performance, you just said that Bitcoin is the only digital asset, but it looks like Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. So I'm not so sure, even though I don't think Ethereum, it might become more scalable and faster now that it's proof of stake, but that will make it less decentralized. So there we go. Just wanted to show you guys that one there. So we go back to your questions. Okay. Yeah, Chris Snow, happy to have Bitcoin as a speculative asset. Yeah, as long as you don't mortgage everything like some people have advised people to do, I think you'll be okay. Jonathan Daniel, what is your outlook for housing market in the US and Europe? I'm noticing prices in Southeast USA are about 50% above the pre-2020 hyper bubble. I think housing is already slowing down in the US. It's slowing down in the UK. In the EU, I don't really follow housing that much, but it should also slow down because I think we are in a bear market for bonds for the next 30 years at least. We might see interest rates or yields come down once in a while, but the trend is for higher yields. That's going to make it, we're going to have higher mortgage rates. And yeah, the era of easy money is over. Even publications like the FT are talking about that. Scott, 49,140. If Fed funds rate affects short-term rates, does it also affect long-term rates? And if so, how does it work? Well, the Fed tries to give forward guidance, even though they're not doing that anymore. But as you can see, they can impact short-term rates more easily than longer-term rates. Longer-term rates are more dependent on the market. And as you've seen now, they increased short-term rates so much that the curve is steepened and inverted massively, which will most probably bring a recession. I think we already had a recession in the beginning of 2022, the first 2 quarters. So there you go. But it's harder if the Fed doesn't do QE. It's a lot harder for them to or yield curve control like the BOJ. It will be a lot harder for them to control bond yields. I don't think the only way they can do it now is to increase QE massively, and they're doing the opposite right now. But if they do that, that's the end of the dollar. If they come back with QE, that's what I see. Joe Graf, America consider last year's black swan event to be the Ukraine war. What would your black swan event prediction be for 2023? It's hard to predict a black swan because it comes out of the blue. So I think there's a lot of, I think someone said there's a lot of black swans flying out there, but I think we'll know what it is when it happens. So I wouldn't care to speculate. Crypto Chris, Happy New Year to you as well. Graham Hobbs, Michael Saylor's on the phone. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. But yeah. Frederick Mulbauer says your chat just popped up. Just had dinner with old friends in Warsaw. Good times. Nice. Pranit Premji from South Africa, stacking Krugerrands. Scoobyism, if you're a young couple, would a 30-year mortgage asking for my kids? Well, I think it depends how much leverage, how much they have to borrow. But I mean, I took a mortgage back in the mid 90s. Looking back, it was probably the best time to do it. I was in my late 20s, and I was worried about it because I don't like debt. But as long as it's not a huge amount of the equity of the property, but if you can, here in the UK, you can get a 30-year mortgage, but you have to fix it for 2 or 5 years. You can't fix it for 30 years. Yeah, so maybe do a bit of each. You can fix part of the mortgage and let the other float. I mean, that could be, this is not advice, but this is what I tell people sometimes. Gandalf Gray, what are Americans' options monetarily against the BRICS nations? Well, there isn't too many. The only viable option that I see is that America joins the BRICS and starts buying gold, and but then they would that would be admitting defeat. So they're going to keep trying to inflate, and they're going to kill, the goose that laid, they're going to kill the goose that laid the golden egg, i.e. the dollar. And so because unfortunately, the people in charge in the US, they don't want competition. They want to be in charge. So Yeah, but the best thing would be everyone to work together, but I don't think they will. Over here, I think so far listening to this video, I don't see any reason not to buy metals on the dip this week. I mean, if you're trading, short term, yeah, gold and silver can do anything. We had a pretty good close for the year, of course. Some people might not think so, but actually gold was slightly higher. Silver was up 4%. And as you saw earlier, everything was down. And I think it will continue. News for all, Happy New Year. I'm sorry about Billy. Yeah, he is in doggy heaven, that's for sure. It feels a bit empty without him on the sofa. Yeah, I mean, the next dog, he'll be coming home in February. He'll be just over 2 months old, 8 weeks. It's going to take a while to train him so that he'll stay on the sofa quietly. But we'll see what happens. Elias 94800. No, I don't recommend ETFs because they're only they're paper, and you can't. The people who run the ETFs are the bullion banks, and I don't trust the bullion banks. I think the only way is physical, really, physical gold and silver. Gandalf, great. You need to, I don't know where you are, if you're in the UK or the US, but you need to shop around. But dealers always, there's always a premium because the spot price, the dealers, when they buy it, they need to make money. So they sell for a premium, or else they wouldn't be in business. It's just like a car dealer. When they buy a new car off a factory, they pay X and then they add on, for their profitability. Sometimes the premiums can be different for different dealers. So you just got to do your homework and go with a reputable dealer that's been around for a while. Joker Alpha, yeah, an acceleration of countries selling US bonds. Yeah, that could do it. That could do it. XRP Daddy, where can we buy gold or silver? Well, I've got 3 affiliates, 2 in North America and 1 in the UK. They're in the description of all my videos that end this live stream. You can have a look. I recommend them. They're reputable. They've been in business for a long time, and they have reasonable premiums. And you can always ask and negotiate with them. So in the UK, it's Gold Investments. The promo code there is Monaco64. In North America, I've teamed up with Miles Franklin and Andy Scheckman, and also ITM Trading. Let's see what else I've got here. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys because I also keep a blog and I write articles, not regularly, but I've done one this month. It's called Monaco64.net. as you can see, and I wrote something about inflation. I know that I talk a lot about inflation, but I think it's really important. So it's just over 1,000 words. It's inflation without government is impossible. So there you go. I'm going to put a link to this article. And I talk about the UK, but it applies to all the countries right now in the world. So here I've compared the debasement of the Roman denarius, the silver coins, to the debasement of the pound. So it's been very similar, the British pound. So I'm going to take this link and put it in the chat for you guys. There you go. There you go. So Belly Dance Radio says Miles Franklin SD Bullion AppMax JM Bullion. Yeah, I mean, and if you want to help my channel deal with Miles Franklin, you know, Andy Scheckman is a good guy, but I'm not going to keep you away from a much better deal if you can get it somewhere else. Thoughts on the GlintPay app, Matthew Lizwanizo? Yeah, the Glint app. I have an affiliation with Glint. The details are below in the description. Yeah, I do have a bit of gold with Glint and the MasterCard, but I would say I prefer physical, and I haven't gone off Glint, but I just feel more comfortable having possession of my gold and silver. But some people prefer that Glint, and Glint works very well. So yeah, I think it's a good app, and the gold is kept in an allocated account in the vault in Switzerland. Graham, it's 240 pence to the pound. It used to be 240. I don't think it's 144. 12, yeah, 12, 20 shillings to the pound, and the shilling is 12 pence. So it's 240 pence to the pound. Shilling coins are nice. They're a bit the same size as quarters, I would say, very similar. You see, Scott 49-140 loves Glint. I think it's, yeah, it's something that is interesting, but there's nothing that beats physical. I got my some of my quarters here. They're all 64 quarters, as you can see. I also have a lot of shillings, and florins are really nice. Florins are like a double shilling. Florin is 24 pence. Carlos Garcia, is it possible the Treasury will come out with gold certificates at revalue price, i.e. 100,000, i.e. 100,000? Gold certificates. I'm not sure about gold certificates, but I'm not sure, you know, if they're gonna go back to a gold back system. Ideally, you wouldn't need gold certificates. You'd have the coins, but yeah, it's possible. I don't know at what level they would want to revalue or devalue the dollar to, or maybe they're just going to allow the market to do it. I think the fact that banks' balance sheets are also in trouble because interest rates are going up, bond yields are going up. That's going to make gold even more important because it's going to be used to reliquify the bank's balance sheets. Even the head of the Dutch central bank said that a few weeks ago or about a month ago. Hi, Tom. Billy passed on the 12th of December. So yeah, it's about 3 weeks ago. tomorrow. Yeah. So Margaret, Mandy, in France, we have a shortage of silver bars. Is it the same in London or other places? No, I mean, gold investments, they have plenty of silver Britannias, which are the coins. I don't think there's a shortage of silver bars here, but the premium is relatively high. They have come off a bit recently. So I think gold investments, if you check below in the description, they will ship it to France, I think. So you could contact them. They probably, I think they have silver bars still. Pretty Green Monk. Hi, Pretty Green Monk. Lady Penelope, yeah, gold is money, everything else is credit. That was the JP Morgan who said that. Netinu Hawk, Mike at Parallel System did a great YouTube dive on Glint. Isn't looking good for them. Yeah, I saw that video, and yes, he makes it look like everything is really bad for Glint, but he mixes up, I would say, equity with debt. Glint has some debt, but he makes it look like Glint has a huge amount of debt. What they've been doing is raising equity. They've been, investors have been buying shares. It's still a private company, but yeah, I saw that video, and I'm not too sure about what he was going on about, but anyway. Yeah, he mixed up equity with debt. That's what I would say. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to show you guys. I interviewed Patrick and Kevin from, let's see here. There you go. These are the guys from North Star Bad Charts. I interviewed them about maybe 10 days ago, and they like to look at relative value and ratios between gold and the stock market. And he's noting here that gold has done something it hadn't done since around 2002 here. It's actually broken through this trend here against the NASDAQ. It's broken through the this green moving average here. So it's looking very positive. Gold versus NASDAQ breakout. That's another reason why I think we're just in the beginning of a move away from like financial assets into hard assets, and gold is going to be a huge beneficiary of that, I would say. Ned Flanders says he's hoping for a pullback in metals. Yeah, I mean, I try to buy gold and silver whenever I can, and I try to do it fairly regularly. I don't try to time things. If I have some extra fiat that I don't need, I will go and buy some. I'm not going to wait for gold to drop or silver to drop. I think it's not worth it over the long term to do that. Of course, unless you're trading, that's something completely different. Over here says, I will not be surprised if Elon Musk runs for president one day. Yeah, but like you said, the Constitution, that would be very difficult to amend that, the law. It's been, it takes like I think 2/3 of the states to agree on it. So I don't think he'll be able to run. I think he has a much bigger impact maybe doing what he's doing. And to be honest, I'm not too sure about Elon Musk. Um, he has done some good things, but you know, is he really? Anyway, Larson chat, what are your thoughts on whether there is gold in Fort Knox? Yeah, that's a big question. I think a lot of that gold, yeah, probably a lot of it has gone. So, and the gold that's there is probably being hypothecated. It's been leased many times over. So if the US wants some gold back, it's going to have to go into the market, and that's going to drive the price a lot higher, or is going to have to ask the bullion banks to close all those leases that they use to short the paper. That's how they do it. They lease the gold from the central banks, and then they sell it short to their clients. But they hypothecate it many times. Scott 4910 says he saw a chart you put up, value of gold during Weimar compared to the price of bread back then. Yeah. Dorimo says average wage in Japan has remained virtually unchanged for the past 30 years. Yeah, because the Japanese, they didn't allow the banks to fail. That's why they've kept this really sad policy of zero or even negative interest rates. But the currency has debased. People think there's deflation in Japan, but the price of gold is gone from like 50,000 yen back in the or 50 to 60,000 back in the early 90s. It got up to 250,000 recently. The total valuation above ground gold, 10 to 12 trillion. Yeah, that's if you count all gold, but like jewelry, everything. But I would say the central bank's reserves are probably about 17% of that number. But it doesn't it doesn't really count paper. It's actual physical. Albertman, yeah, question everything. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think that's the big black swan. Maybe it could be the big black swan that you can't really believe anything you hear anymore, and you have to do your due diligence, your research. I think it's scary, not scary, but it just makes me want to hold to real things, and that's why I think commodities, precious metals are going to continue to do well, because you can't trust anything from our governments. You can't trust the mainstream media. You can't trust academia. You can't trust like scientists, a lot of scientists anymore. You know what's happened in the last 3 years. I think it's just crazy. I think 2023 is going to be that year. And it could end up in a currency collapse. That could be the big black swan. Rumpelstiltskin, nice to see you here. Must be early over there. Or yeah, pretty early. My son in Japan informed me, Papa, the free market was just an idea. Now we have Japan's new capitalism. Yeah, we don't really have much of a free market. That's a fallacy. You know, when the government spends about 50% of the economy, like they do here in the UK and in a lot of countries in Europe, they do even more. That's not free market. And when they bail out companies like they're still doing, like Biden bailed out this central states pension. In the UK, they're talking about bailing out now British Steel with 300 million. This, I wanted to show you this story about Egypt. There are no dollars. Foreign currency crunch hits Egypt's economy. So I went through this and this article in the FT, and I would say the reason why there's a shortage of dollars is because Egypt has been inflating like crazy, and they're trying to keep their currency pegged at the wrong rate. So why would any foreign investor want to exchange their dollars for a highly manipulated Egyptian pound? So that's why they're having trouble. So what's the solution for Egypt? Well, it's to raise interest rates, but they won't do it. And I found a story here, and I think this is why, because I saw one of the comments in that article, and I'll show you here. There's a story on Reuters, says, so this is from December 29th, so just a couple of days ago. Egypt's M2 money supply grows 27.5% year on year in November. So there you go, with M2 money supply growing like that, and they trying to keep a peg to their currency. That's why no one wants to sell them dollars. There's also it's very hard to get gold there as well. I spoke about that a few weeks ago. So that's Egypt. IMF going to offer Egypt dollars? No, I don't think they. I don't think that they could. I guess nationalize the pyramids or sell it to foreign investors. Would you hold GDX or GDXJ? I mean, GDX and GDXJ are a good way to invest in the miners, the junior miners. GDXJ is the junior miners. Yeah, I think they will do well, but you have to remember they can be highly volatile. One thing I would say: don't hold on to them for too long. Once you have a good profit, because they can whip around a lot. But it's a way of basically, I would say, speculating on gold and silver in a leverage fashion. I'm not saying you should leverage GDXJ, but it's almost like buying bullion and borrowing to buy bullion. But of course, there's different kind of mining companies. Of course, there's the junior exploration companies. That's a completely different story. You need to really do your homework, and then the big miners and the royalties, they're a different thing. And I don't advise people here what to invest in. I talk about ideas and companies, but you need to do your own homework. Did Roosevelt? No, he didn't take over the gold mines. No, there was no gold mine, not that I know of. That was the way to invest in gold in the 30s. I think Homestake mining did very well in the 1930s. It was up like 500%. So there was no nationalization of the mines. Scoobyism, Mike and Mario, I mean, it should be back next week. Yeah. Mike wanted to take the last couple of weeks off, Christmas and New Year. Albertman, 2,999 feet or less at Canada Gold Store. Her name is Matt Bittner. I just received a dividend. It wasn't bad. The stock has come off a bit, but yeah, the dividend is still okay. I received the dividend last week. And I think it's just the first dividend. There's going to be some more in the spring. When does the market open? Well, for physical gold and silver here in the UK, it's Tuesday. In England, it's Tuesday because tomorrow is still a bank holiday here. For the future, for the paper gold, the spot, the LBMA gold, the FX gold, and futures, they start trading tonight. I think the COMEX reopens tonight. I'm not sure. Is it a holiday tomorrow in the States? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Nasser CF, will I be getting Clive Thompson back on again? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Clive enjoys coming on, and I enjoy talking to him. I'll probably have him on soon. I don't know when, but I'm sure he want to come back. Have you got an idea of what you'd like him to talk about? Let me know if you want to listen to Clive again. Yeah, I got two as well. Black silver staff for PBR. What I meant is added up, it was a pretty good dividend. Yeah, we'll have to see if the futures open today on COMEX. But if not, we'll just have to wait till Monday night. I think over here that doctor, he's retired, hasn't he? He's left as of yesterday. Yeah, I don't cover, I try to cover something to do with what happened in 2020, 21, 22. And YouTube was in the summer of 21. They deleted my video and gave me a strike just for talking about something that wasn't even like bad. But I think that could be another black swan. The fact that people are waking up to all this stuff that's happened medically. I think that's a big topic. I watched today Redacted. Redacted is a good channel, I would say. My wife enjoys Redacted as well. Thousands of silver holiday for all U.S. government employees tomorrow. I get paid to stay at home. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't stop, because I'm self-employed, and people, when you're an employee, you like having holidays because it's, like you said, you get paid for staying home. Copper is an interesting commodity as well, Gianfranco. When I was in Switzerland for the Precious Metals Summit mining conference in Zurich back in November, I heard a lot of people talking about that demand for copper. I think in the next few years is going to be more than the whole the whole supply of copper that's been mined in history. So copper is going to be big. The price hasn't made a move yet, but yeah, copper is interesting. Matt Bittner, the political situation in Brazil, does it matter for Petrobras? I don't think so. I don't think you want to rock the boat because the Brazilian government is one of the biggest shareholders. So they get a dividend as well. would he want to really rock the boat? Unless he's stupid, which I wouldn't put it past him. But I think, just don't put all your eggs in the PBR basket, but have a little bit there to get that dividend. Yeah, I like the Duran as well, and redacted. But Captain X, what commodities do you like? Well, the monetary ones, gold and silver, the most. I think they will outperform. They will outperform general commodities. They haven't performed very well versus commodities in the last 2 years, the general commodities. But I think all commodities will do well. And they have been doing well, as I showed you here. I don't know if you've seen this. Let me put it back on. Let's share this again. Share. So if you look at commodities here, this year, yeah, there were some that were down, but in the last 3 years, it's only palladium and lumber that are down. All the rest are up quite substantially, all in the green. The stock market's still in the green over the last 3 years, but commodities have outperformed them in general. But this is what bonds have been doing the last 3 years, and gold and silver as well. Last 3 years, gold is up like 20%, silver's up 35%. So gold and silver have done well as well. And now I just want to show you guys some charts of the price of gold in different currencies. So in dollars, of course, it went up 0.5% in 2022. Silver went up 4%. So as you can see here, the pound XAU GBP was up 12% in 2022. So that was a good performance. Of course, the pound didn't do very well, but that's what gold is supposed to do, protect you against your currency, your national currency going down the tubes. Here's the euro in gold up 6.4. That's the gold price in Swedish krona, 16.2% for Sweden. Gold in Swiss francs, 1.76%. It was just did a little better than against the dollar in Swiss francs. Kiwi dollar, XAU, NZD or NZD, 8.14%. We've got the Canadian dollar, 6.89. Aussie dollar, gold was up 6.92. This is the gold price in Israeli shekels. For those of you in Israel, if there are any of you, 14%. Hong Kong dollar is similar to the US dollar, up 0.65. Polish gold in the the zloty, the Polish currency, 8.55%. Gold in Chinese yuan, 8.87. Gold in Turkish lira, up 43%. It's not surprising. So here's the ruble, gold versus ruble. Gold was down 2% versus the ruble. So actually, the ruble did relatively well, down 2%, the price of gold in Russia. And also in Brazil, the Brazilian real then performed better than the dollar because gold dropped 5.3% versus the Brazilian real. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Din Silkhanas is in Malaysia, says Happy New Year. What percentage do you have in cash and mining stocks? Well, I don't keep much cash in the bank, just enough for my expenses and maybe a little bit for, yeah, not that much. Mining stocks, I guess, the percentage of, um, I mean, I would say I wouldn't go above a quarter of my, yeah, I wouldn't go above a quarter. Where has the price of electricity, natural gas, and diesel going in your area? Well, electricity is up quite a bit. Gas and electricity is up about 50%, I would say, for me. And that's where the government putting a cap on it. They're subsidizing it. But prices of natural gas in the US, nat gas, and the European nat gas have come off. The diesel price has come off as well, but it's still, for example, about 18 months ago, the liter of diesel was about under £1.20. Now it's about £1.78 or £1.80, but it got up as much as over £2, and I think it's going to go back up again. Carl Garcia, a peso versus gold. I didn't do that one. So, but it's pretty much probably very similar to the Turkish performance. Aaron Hubbard just joined. Hi, Aaron Hubbard. Well, let's see what did the let's have a look at what the Argentine peso did. So I'll be able to tell you. Let's have a look if they have it here. One second. Yeah, the dollar went from like 100 pesos to 180. So yeah, gold is up about 80% in pesos because it was pretty much unchanged versus gold, the dollar price of gold. So it's done. Yeah, it always protects people where currencies go down. Hi, Aquarian age woman. I'm well, thank you. Hope you're well too. Asian emerging markets. I haven't really looked too much into that. The Asian, I don't think it's a matter of geography going forward. It's a matter of assets. I think hard assets, commodities, they're going to do well relative to what has done well in the last 40 years. They're going to do quite well, I think. Dmitry Smirkovich, thank you for your super chat. Do you think Japanese can hold 50 basis point peg on the 10-year? Yeah, I mean, I think eventually they're going to have to let that peg go to like 1%. I saw that last week they had to intervene quite a few times to keep it below 50 basis points. So yeah, I think as I said recently that I think we will be above 1% before the end of 2023, the 10-year yield. Well, Carlos, gold is money, so you don't really make money by having gold. You're just able to acquire more of the pesos it helps you, but you don't really make money. But yeah, the price of gold is up 80%. And that's with the official rate. It's probably even more in the black market or parallel rates. It's probably more like 120%. Hi, Brady Gertie. David Otness says, I've been trying to tell a couple of relatives about BRICS likely to outcome for 2 years now. One is sitting on 300K and won't budge. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can tell people if they don't want to do it. You just got to, you warn them. But 300,000, yeah, I guess he'll be able to buy more Tesla stocks. But I think, yeah, holding a lot of cash balances, be it in dollars or pounds, is a losing proposition. Any countries you would avoid when looking at mining stocks? Well, yeah, I guess nowadays you have to try to avoid countries that are aligned to Russia and China because, yeah, but other than that, there's risks everywhere. Even in Canada, there are risks of political moves. So I think the most important thing is to have diversification of your holdings. Brian Keene, no, where's your dog? No, Billy's passed away, unfortunately, Brian. He passed away on the 12th of December. He was almost 15. So yeah, he's no longer with us. Pretty Green Monk speaks 5 languages: English, American, Canadian, Australian, South African. William PMCD, Tesla over the next 10 years. Well, one thing I would say, it might not be around in 10 years, the way the stock is looking. So I think I did, yeah, let me see here. It's not looking very good. The Tesla chart, there's a huge head and shoulder, and I see it going down even more. And the other thing that I read is that it could be really tough for the banks. I think banks like Barclays and others, I think maybe, I forgot, I think it's Barclays and some others, they gave Elon Musk a 12 billion line of credit to buy Twitter, and the collateral is Tesla stock. So can you imagine if they ask him for that? He'll have to sell the collateral or sell more stock. That's going to make it even worse. But no, the technical picture there looks horrible for Tesla. I might think of buying it when it gets down to $20, the way it's going. Joseph A., thank you for that. Thanks. But we have another puppy on the way. He'll be coming home in February. He's going to be a Shih Tzu as well. Yeah, Rudy is his name. Andre Duchesne, Happy New Year from Mexico. Yeah, Twitter. I don't know about. Well, I wanted to talk about Twitter because I have a pretty, yeah, I've got about 12,000 followers. And if any of you are on Twitter, my handle there is Maneko 1964. So that's on Twitter. And I actually just got that blue thing, the blue mark, because someone had copied me, and they were doing things they shouldn't. like trying to scam people through my name, which wasn't very good. So that's why I got that blue thing. Musk thinks about buying Facebook and a few other companies, he said. Intel, I have no view on Intel, the company. Don't follow that. Sorry, Gianfranco. I've got another minute to go. If you've got some more questions, just one more minute. FDIC meeting from November 22nd, where Gary Cohn says that people have more faith in the banking system than those of us. Yeah, I saw that, and I caught that from Wall Street Silver, and then I did a video about that. I'm not too sure about when that video was, though, the FDIC meeting. I'm not sure. I think it was much older than November 22nd and 2022. I think it was from a few years ago, but I don't think anything's changed. Ruby, cost of Ruby. Well, he costs a lot more than Billy did in 2008. That's all I'll tell you. Yeah, Echo. Haven't played golf in a while. The weather's just not good for it. It's been raining, and then when it doesn't rain, it's been snowing, and so I'll just wait until it gets nicer. When will I get Steve St. Angelo back? I'm a big fan and subscriber. Yeah, I will have him back. I will have him back. Don't know when. Yeah, it is the FDIC and the FSCS, which is the UK equivalent. They work when one bank, like one small or medium-sized bank goes under, they work okay. But if we have a systemic crisis like in 08, they won't work. Whippersnapper, I'm paying about 300 pounds a month. We used to pay about 200. But I think in December it was more like 400 because we had to keep the heating on for like about 7 days running when it was really cold. So yeah, so it has gone up. All right. So yeah, dogflation. It's not really the price of dogs that's gone up, is the currency that's gone down. So it's inflation, period. The dog hasn't, still the same. It's the currency that's collapsed. Yeah. So that's what I would say. All right. I wish you all a very good start to the year. And we'll see if the markets open overnight. Maybe they won't. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.